Hope you are doing great. It's Sunday and I wanted to catch up with you. And what inspired me actually to capture this video or to record this video was my conversation with one of our group members, Ellen, who is from South Africa. And yesterday we were speaking, or we were having this kind of philosophical, deep debate on the topics about animals, but hunting, different kind of things. But I think this will be relevant to all of you because there are some things that just overreach from the topics of veganism or ecological to how you can be your best self in any situation and why it matters. So let me share with you what I mean by that. So we were speaking about how hunting animals is, let's say, some people agree with it, some people don't agree with it. But my point was that sometimes we are hunting animals not because we want their meat or we want to eat them necessarily, but because they are overpopulated. And if they are overpopulated, they can cause some imbalance in nature, and as a result this can hurt some other animals or nature itself. So that's why there are some, for example, if you have overpopulation of one animal, wolves, for example, they can hunt down everything else. What happened actually in New Zealand, maybe you are aware of that, like when these Europeans came there with cats overpopulated there, and basically many birds and animal species went extinct because cats hunted them. And so this is something that happened, right? So would killing cats in that example be a good choice? Well, that's, I think, on the perspective that you need to consider yourself, whether you agree with it or not. What Ellen proposed is that we are responsible for these things, and I fully agree with it. We are responsible for these things because, just like in this example with cats in New Zealand, we brought them there. Without our actions, these animal species living there in New Zealand, they wouldn't have gone extinct. Well, maybe they would. That's a philosophical question. And every action or inaction has an effect, right? Has a consequence. So, sometimes we can think like, if I didn't do that, it would be much better. But would it? Would it be much better? Maybe. Maybe not. Because also inaction has its consequences. If you don't prevent somebody from taking action, so you are in inaction. You don't prevent a robber who is robbing a shop from robbing it. Well then, for example, cashier would have to pay, let's say, the difference, or would be responsible or could be held responsible, whether we like it or not. But what if you try to stop him? If you try to stop him, you might get hurt, you might get killed, somebody else might get killed. So we don't know. In any moment, we don't know what is the consequence of our actions. We can only judge our actions, whether we consider them good or bad. We can only judge them retrospectively, so after they have already happened. And this is a big problem, right? Because nowadays in general we have this tendency to judge people and judge their actions based on how we view the world, how we based on our belief system, and we often also look for example, ideal solutions to the problem. But ideal solution to the problem is not always a realistic or practical solution. So getting back to hunting animals, maybe if there is an overpopulated species of animal, we could take them and we could move them somewhere else. But is that actually realistic? Well, we have money, we have resources. If we really wanted to, we could do that. Is it practical? Probably no. No, it's not only about like what we can do or what we have resources to do. There is also about like willingness, and this comes to the whole new field. It's psychology, emotions of people. Like we are always looking for an easier way to do it. It's like our laziness. Actually, we can argue that we are very lazy species. Like actually every species or all of the species are lazy, and finding the way how to be the most efficient led us to survive. So agriculture and mechanization or industrial revolution, this all went not to make or the driving factor was to make our lives easier, not to make it harder. And as a consequence, we are now experiencing health issues. But you see, nobody could have predicted this directly. So, on one side we have a good intention to make all these things, and it sounds great, but you don't know how it turns out in the end. I mean, it's always a double-edged sword. So this is my major point. And Ellen also mentioned one thing, and I promised to mention it in this video, and that was like argument that there is no planet B, and this is referencing that having a plan B. I really love this, and it made me think actually, and I thought about it like few weeks or months ago. I got this idea like when I first saw it. If there is not planet B, maybe that's a good thing. Even if we, in context of that we are destroying this planet and that we need to preserve it or do our best or make the best choices to preserve this planet, right? To protect it ecologically, and we are basically overpopulating this planet, and it has serious consequences. So there is no planet B, and why I think it's actually also a good thing. It's like we are cornering ourselves, so we are boxing ourselves, cornering ourselves, and what we know that really works for us, it's the biggest driving motivating factor or motivator is survival. So if at some point we will come to the point that we will not be able to preserve life on this planet, and it can be sooner or later, and it could be for various different reasons. Maybe it will be because we will not be able to sustain due to food production. Maybe it will be some ecological catastrophe. Maybe it will be something different. But this will drive us to actually find solutions to these problems, whether it's like planet C, or planet B. Actually, we are already launching missions onto the Mars in near future. So I think this is happening, and from my perspective, I think we will not save planet Earth, so to speak, because, I have this vision, let's say, that we would rather, or we have a tendency to look for solutions in a way that not correct our mistakes necessarily, but we try really hard to scratch ourselves in this way. So instead of saving the world that we live in, I think we will find a planet and colonize it, and we will find the planet B. Let me know what you think. This is really, I think, interesting topic. But what comes out of all of this is that we are responsible for our actions, and we can only directly affect actions of one individual, and that is ourselves. And when we are affecting or making choices, it's only up to us, and we at all the times try to make the best choice with the resources that we have, with the knowledge that we have, with the beliefs that we have, right? So it doesn't need to be necessarily a good choice, but I mean, in the time when we are making it, we try to do the best choice for us that is possible. And you can argue that, but what if I'm, let's say, in addiction, like addicted to alcohol, right? And I make choice to drink. Is that the best choice? No. Like, objectively speaking, it is not. But because you are addicted, you are coming from a completely different psychological and physiological circumstances and perspectives that a non-addicted person doesn't understand. Therefore, I would argue that an addicted person, by choosing to drink and to further feeling their addiction, is making the best choice in their in this moment. Although, or despite it being not practical, it is practical. It's practical for them. So we need to consider this thing. So we never know the full story of all the people, of all the circumstances, of everything that's going on in the world, but we are quick to judge. So if we don't know all the circumstances, we don't have all the information, then we should not make judgments or quickly jump into judgments. If somebody overreacts to you, behaves bad towards you, cuts you in the line or whatever, we can easily jump into the judgment that this person is misbehaving and they are a bad person. We label them with this label, we put the sticker on them. He or she is a bad person, but we don't know the full circumstances where this person is coming from, what's going on in their life. Maybe they are in a hurry, maybe they have a much bigger reason to be in a hurry than yourself, and we just don't know. So don't be quick to jump into judgments, even if you are correct. Just give them the benefit of doubt, and not only will it help you, it will help you to not be mad about so many things. It will dramatically cut down the things that you get mad at, right? Because you just let it go. You just let it go. Yeah, they cut you in the line, they misbehave, they don't go to a trash can which is 1 meter away from them and they throw it on the ground. Okay. Correct it. Maybe pick it up and throw it in the trash can, and you inspire another person maybe that saws you or that sees you, and maybe they will do it later. So this is my main message or this is the message of this video. I hope you could be inspired. As you see, it was not about veganism, it was not about ecology only, but it was about how to be a better person, how to think in a different way, and I hope this inspired you. So let me know, what do you think about the planet B? What do you think? Will we colonize a different planet, or is it more probable that we will save the planet that we live on, the planet Earth? You have a great day, and I bid you farewell. Looking forward to your comments.